We're going to riff a little bit today on some of the things that we are inging, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of it and you'll go eat it or read it or buy it or do it. Hello, hustlers, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners, everybody out there trying to turn an idea into income. I want to welcome you to Serious Business, because it's serious, but it's not all that serious. Welcome to your weekly spot to get everything you need to know about making your business more profitable, but also having a lot more fun while doing it, because if this ain't fun, you shouldn't be doing it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Serious Business. We're here for another episode to enlighten you, excite you, thrill you, make you laugh, make you think, make you want to stop listening. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully not that. This is a little bit of a different podcast. We're going to be doing this, I would say, maybe not every month, maybe every couple of months. But this is our, what do we decide to call it? Sevening?
Seven ings.
This is our 7 ings podcast, our 7 ings. And our 7 ings are, what are we reading, watching, eating, following, streaming, listening, and doing, right? So just some things that are on our radar and we're watching and paying attention to, and that we're enjoying, that we're getting something out of, that's making our life better, making our business better, making our world better, all of those really good things. So when I actually started brain dumping this list, Melonie, I was like, maybe I need to spend less time inging, get more work done.
Yeah, I'd say that's funny. I'll talk about one of my notes, but yeah.
Right? Because my list was like, oh, I'm reading a lot and watching a lot and doing a lot and streaming a lot. But I also say, like, that is the essence of business. That is the essence of being relevant and being innovative, is, are you paying attention to the world around you and what's going on in the world around you? So I love, I think Tim Ferriss does an amazing job. He's done it for years, and I'm probably going to screw this up. Somebody will know better than I do. But I think every Friday, he's always sent out a list of, like, and maybe it's only once a month, maybe it's every Friday, but it's like, this is what I'm reading, this is what I'm eating, this is what, and it's really the only Tim Ferriss thing I read. I don't pay attention to many of his blogs, but I always look at that because I'm fascinated. Like, what could I learn? What could I be watching? What could I be, learning more from? Also, I've been a subscriber of O Magazine, I guess, since it came out. I love my O Magazine. And Gail does The World According to Gail, right? Same thing, sharing what she's listening to, what she's watching, what she's eating, all that good stuff. And I love it. So I thought we might be experiencing something that would be a good idea for you, or something you might be interested in. So we're going to riff a little bit today on some of the things that we are inging, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of it and you'll go eat it or read it or buy it or do it. So what do we want to start with? Reading, Mel?
Yeah, let's start with reading.
So I just, I've got a small long list here. This is probably all for me in the last month, 6 weeks or so. But I just finished a novel called After the End by Claire McIntosh. It is heart-wrenching, really hard to read, really, really well done. Beautiful story about two parents making the decision of the end of a life for a child. And I think what was the reason I would say check it out is she has a really brilliant style where there's a point in the book where the book divides and each chapter is coming from the perspective of the other person. So I wouldn't say it was a great read from the sense of like, oh, it's a great read, I love that book. It's a hard read, but it's a beautiful read, really well done, and I would highly, highly recommend it.
Well, I finished Ani DeFranco's No Walls and the Recurring Dream. And first of all, I'm just a huge Ani fan. Love her music. But I think it's a great book. It challenged some of my own beliefs. It made me pause and go, okay, I don't know that I agree with this, but fascinating. And it's a really well done book. And it's I think it's absolutely worth picking up and reading and thinking about. And the other book that I started reading was a brief history of of Irish history, which is not brief. It's a very thick book that I started reading. And, I think it's always good to read some things that are about history, because I think history is what leads us into our future. And very often we forget that we're repeating patterns, we're repeating things in our own lives and in the world. And it's great to be reminded of some of the nuances that get lost in translation. So there you go.
I'm reading a lot of Sharon Lovejoy stuff right now. It's just like it sounds, Lovejoy. If you are a Sark fan, which I am, Susan Ariel Rainbow Kennedy is a dear friend of mine. I started reading her in high school, and then, to come full circle and be friends with Sark has been one of my just wonderful life moments. But Sharon reminds me of Sark, but Sharon is for, although she writes some adult books, her focus is on kids. And I became fascinated with her because we just bought a summer house in Maine, and Sharon has a cottage near where we live. And Sharon's been a Caldecott Award medal winner, but she has a book called Sunflower Houses that is for adults, for kids. And it's all about being outdoors with kids and gardening with children. And I'm loving all of her books. She's also got a Little Green Island, which is a book for kids. And she, go to her website, follow her. Also follow her on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to feel like you're following someone who lives their passion every moment, she's a great person to follow.
Awesome. That's my reading list. I'm keeping it brief.
I got a few. So I just started Donald Miller, who is the founder of StoryBrand. And I'll let you talk about him just in a second, Melanie, because you've actually been in a workshop with him. I have not, but he has a book called A Million Miles in 1,000 Years, which is kind of autobiographical. And I'm a big fan of Chris Brogan, and Chris Brogan recently recommended it. So I just started it a few days ago, but I'm loving it. And I love all things Donald Miller, so I'm sure I'm going to love it. But you want to tell them just a little bit about Donald?
Yeah, he's just genius. I mean, I don't want to mess up his story, but just
not his story, but
knowing, watching what he does and the way that he understands copy and how copy is so critical in your business to moving people and understanding the hero's journey. And really quickly and succinctly, one of the biggest takeaways from Donald is that, we forget and we make our copy about us, and it really has to be about you, the listener. We have to make you feel understood. You feel like we know your story. You feel like you are in the right place and we can help guide you, as opposed to look at me and how awesome I am. I think it's a fatal flaw we have in copy. And that's fundamentally his thing. And he has done, he's worked with major political campaigns and major brand campaigns and turned them around and had such genius, just insight in the way that words can truly, truly, truly change the trajectory of political paths and businesses.
So actually, the cool thing is this book has nothing to do with business. It is, I think, his life story and actually a little bit more personal development. So anyway, I'm loving it, and I would say check it out. Okay, I've got one more. Iconic by Scott McKain. Scott's a friend of mine. I met him through my good buddy Larry Wingett. He spoke about 9 months ago at an event I had, and his book had come out. I got the book. I read it on the plane on the way home. I flipped down the pages. I highlighted it. I put Post-it notes all over it. And it was an amazing moment to stop and go, the struggles in my business or the struggles in my client retention or client conversion and all that. It's like, if you are not iconic, right? If you do not become iconic, and if you do not continue that and stay relevant, your business has trouble. So I won't give it away. It's a brilliant business book. So you should absolutely pick that up and read it as well. So that's, I think, our first ing. That's our reading.
That's our first ing.
Yeah. So let's go to watching. So we're kind of categorizing watching as TV and movies. So Mel, I'll let you start this one.
One of my favorite movies that I've seen this year is Biggest Little Farm.
I forgot about that. That's a great one.
Good. It's so good. So many good lessons in it, and I love it. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. I think it's life-changing. I haven't seen this movie, and I really want to. It's on my list, which is Raise Hell, the Molly Ivins story. It's a documentary. I really love documentaries, and so that's on my list of things to see. I'll let you go. And
well, I think a great business movie, and I'm not even joking, last weekend we went and saw The Hustlers. And it is a true story about after the crash, a group of strippers figure out how to make a living. Now, it's not all legal, but listen, I've always said if I could take people who struggle with sales to one place to learn, it would be to a strip club because, for the most part, it is not focusing on rejection and moving on. But anyway, it's true. But it was J-Lo. And listen, I mean, seeing Cardi B in a movie, listen, it's worth it. It's worth it. So,
I mean, Jennifer Lopez looks amazing. I mean, may we all look like that when we're her age.
So true. So true. So those are a couple of movies. I'm always watching This Is Us. And you know why? I'm watching it for one reason. One reason. Randall. I love that character so much. I think he is one of the best characters in TV. And if you don't know what randling something means, if you're like, I'm going to worst case scenario randle this, then you need to watch This Is Us because it is a great strategy when everything feels like it's sucking and you don't know what to do in business.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I haven't hidden this fact since we started this podcast, but
I know what you're gonna say.
I watch the Kardashians religiously. I find that
KUWK.
Yeah, I find that there's great life lessons. There's great business lessons. I mean, honestly, they have willed an empire into focus, and I admire that tremendously. And it's probably less focused on the business nowadays than it used to be. I think in the newer episodes you really kind of saw Kris Jenner's prowess as a businesswoman. But there you go. Kardashians, it's my dirty little secret.
All right. So what are we eating? We mentioned this in a past podcast. We planned a trip to Copenhagen a month or so ago, and that entire trip we actually did an event in London and then traveled to Ireland. That entire event was around one thing and one thing only. We got a reservation at Noma. If you don't know Noma, if you don't know what we're talking about, if you want to see the epitome of innovation, of relevance, of creativity, of imagination, of two big middle fingers to to an entire industry and saying, I'm going to do it my way, check out the amazing chef at Noma and check out Noma. Follow them on, Instagram or, there's been documentaries on them. There's, I think CBS Sunday Morning did something about a year ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So that's what we're eating. That was truly exciting, but I'll throw out a couple other things and then I'll kick it to you. I'm going to totally mess this up because I do not speak French, but I am willing fall to come. I am trying to make fall show up. So I've enjoyed a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, my Mirage Frere. Did I say that right? Tea? I think I said it.
Yeah,
my Mirage Frere tea. I don't do any caffeine, so I have the vanilla rooibos. It is
Rooibos.
Several hundred years old tea shop in Paris.
Yeah,
in Paris. If you've never been to the tea shop, it's MARIAGE FRERES. It's an amazing tea shop. You can order online as well. It's honestly the best teas I've ever experienced in my life. So I'm kind of willing fall and trying to have a cup of tea. And then the other thing I'm really into right now is the Unreal product line. Just like it sounds, Unreal. And there, I actually had one for breakfast. # I'm not a health coach. Their dark chocolate almond butter cups. I haven't even brought you one, Melanie.
You ate that for breakfast?
Oh, it was in my office. I just had one. It wasn't like an intentional breakfast.
Okay. That's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. But they are so amazing. And I'm really enjoying the Unreal line. And I've had a couple of those things. So I'm eating all kinds of things. Food is my favorite topic. But those are 3 things I'll throw out.
Yeah. I mean, Noma is big, but I think for eating, not everybody can have this, unfortunately, which is a brother-in-law who made an incredible vegetable dinner the other night.
It was so good.
So good. He made these carrots with this yogurt sauce, and it was just delicious. And farro, and he made a spinach sauce that went on the farro. It was so good. And I wish everybody had a brother-in-law like Adam who had a creative streak in him and could turn just what sounds like a simple, boring vegetable dinner into such a magical experience. But I'm into veggies. Right now. That's my thing.
I am too.
Really
I told you I ate a veggie meal 4 meals in a row, which happy to do. I love. Remember, Michael Pollan, he's always saying perfect diet is mostly veggies, some meat.
Yeah. And I have to say, here's what I'm missing is we did spend 2 weeks in Europe, and I am missing the butter.
Bring me the butter. Take me to your butter, people. Take me to your butter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
those are my things.
All right, out of eating, on to following.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Okay, these are two people that bring me a lot of joy.
I have a feeling you're going to do one of mine, and I'm going to be really annoyed.
Okay, well, they're bringing me a lot of joy, and they bring me joy because sometimes they're confusing to me. One of them, I'm not sure where he's going with his life, but I'm fascinated.
Okay.
I think you know who
Maybe
it is.
I don't.
Maybe you don't. Okay. Well, I have three that I love. Okay, Jordan Roth. If you're not following him.
Jordan Roth, I did not know you were going to go there, but Jordan Roth is an interesting person. We had a friend that worked for him for years.
He's in the Broadway show industry.
He's the president. I may have his title wrong, but he runs the Nederlander organization.
Jujamsen.
Sorry,
not
Nederlanders.
Jujamsen. And Jordan is carving himself a new path in life, and I don't know where he's going with it, but he's kind of created his own new persona. He's not the Jordan that you and I worked with years ago or knew.
It's a crazy creative fashion. It's in the fashion world and just creativity in general.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, you could spend an hour podcasting about Jordan.
He brings me joy for whatever reason. And then Gigi Gorgeous. Love Gigi Gorgeous.
Yeah,
she brings me a lot of joy in life and happiness. She's in Japan right now. And Snoop Dogg.
Oh, no, that was mine.
All right, well, I'll let you go off on Snoop Dogg, but guys, if you need joy in your life.
If you are not following Snoop Dogg, you're just living a half life.
Yeah, you're not living.
You're not living. You are living a half life. First of all, he is so damn funny, so damn smart, so damn cunning, uses his platform for so much good and so much relevance and intelligence, but some people, they say, don't wake up and check your phone first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad for you. Oh, no. I grab my phone first thing in the morning and I go to Snoop Dogg's Instagram account because that is how you should be starting your day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're the same on that. The other one I follow, and Melanie gets annoyed with me because I read a lot of these out loud, is I love Scary Mommy.
I know you do.
Oh, my God. Do I love This morning was funny.
Yeah, it was good. I reposted it. Was it?
Oh, no, that wasn't for them.
Oh, no. It was, Kate, you have to tell everybody that one. It was funny.
Which one?
The one that she had this morning about there's a million children that...
Oh, there's a million children who want to clean up the earth, and there's a million parents who want them to start with their room. I mean, it's funny stuff. Even if you're not a mom, it's really funny. And part of this is following them because they're interesting people and things we've shared, but they're also great at social media, right? They're amazing at social media, so follow them to see how it is done so well. Let's talk about what we're streaming. We just finished Chernobyl, which I thought was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The acting was awesome. Of course, I knew what Chernobyl was, but the history I got, the information that I got.
Stop.
What?
It's great, but we just saw a news story recently that now the tourism there has upticked and people are going there to stand in the control room because of the popularity of this TV show, and they can only be in there for 5 minutes because the exposure is so unreal. And I'm like, okay, this is dumb. People have lost their minds. But anyway, keep going. It is a great show. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
So HBO?
No,
or Showtime?
It's Amazon, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Pretty sure.
No. Maybe. I don't know. Google it. We just started re-watching because it's so damn good. We're watching The Sopranos again.
Yeah.
Again, you do not get better than that. It's such an awesome show. So we're actually we watched it when it was first out, and we're re-watching the series. So streaming that. Streaming. Let's move into kind of listening / streaming into some podcasts. I'll share a few. You and I listen to The Daily every day.
Well, here's what I was going to say. Streaming. We are watching the New York Times Weekly.
Oh, yeah. The Weekly, which is kind of the streaming version of The Daily.
It's on Hulu. It's great. If you haven't seen it, great. Do it. And then into streaming or listening. I guess you're skipping into listening.
Yeah, that's where I am. I just said we're transitioning into listening.
The daily podcast. I mean, I listen to it religiously.
So well done. Well done.
Really
it's
well
New York
done.
Times. I listen to Masters of Scale quite a bit. Amazing business podcast.
I listen to Serious Business.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to Serious Business. I have to listen to it because I'm saying it. TD Jakes, he's got an incredible podcast.
Yeah.
Man, if you need to get your life sorted out, if you need to get some juice, if you need to figure something out, nothing better than the TD Jakes podcast. He is super amazing. Okay, so we're getting near the end. I never like to keep you guys longer than 20 minutes because I want this to be in and out for you and get great information. So what are we doing, right? What are you doing?
I mean, other than the stuff that you guys know that we're doing every day, which is running our business, I think the biggest thing in our life right now is planning. We are planning on building a house.
That's what I wrote down. We are remodeling a house in Maine.
A remodel on a house in Maine. There is a lot of thinking through your life. And it's a funny process because it's like, wow, how often do we skip the details in our life? When you're building a house, you have to stop and go, okay, where would I put my broom? Right? Like we often in life plan for the big things. Oh yeah, of course there's a living room. Yep, there's a bedroom. Yep, there's that. Where do your linens go? Where is your dog food going to go? Have you thought
all right,
through
we're
that?
Gonna stop this because Melonie
could go on for hours.
She could go on for hours.
But I do think it's a good business lesson. Planning out the tiny details is where shit gets lost and confused.
And I would also say, if you've ever wanted to build a house and you've thought about it, do it. It is such a fascinating process. You learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about your loves and your likes and how you live. And we built a house that we sold. We're getting ready to build a new house, and we're going to do a remodel on a 111-year-old house in Maine. And what I've learned is like, when you create your environment, as opposed to moving into a home that somebody else created that you make your own, which is awesome and fine too. God, there's so much cool beauty in that. So that's what we're doing right now. So I hope you found this podcast episode a little different, a little interesting. We'll try to do it every couple of months. What we are inging, our 7 ings, reading, watching, eating, following, streaming, listening, and doing. And we will see you on the next episode of Serious Business. I hope you will go do some of our ings and let us know. Let us know if you liked the book. Let us know if you hated the movie we suggested. Let us know if you liked the food tip. We'd love to hear from you. All right, see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast, Serious Business. Please follow us on Instagram at The Driven Inc. and make sure to check us out on Facebook at Driven Inc. as well. Subscribe to this podcast. You don't want to miss a single episode, and tell a friend because good friends share good stuff. See you next week.